Hello. Welcome to the Smokin Tabacco Show with Matt and Nicole.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. How are you? How is everyone doing? I'm gonna just share this around like we always do every week. So just bear with us. No John Carney again this week. John is pretty busy with his keeping up with appearances, and people out there they can't get enough of John Carney. I don't blame him. I love John.
We all love John. Come on.
We all love John. I love John. I can see why everyone just can't get enough of LFD Carney. No, he's with us in spirit. Just a busy couple of weeks for him. You got to remember too, a lot of this year, a lot of these events and stuff, they were all shut down and everything. So the stuff that is happening, it's kind of like, hey, we got to like make up for some of that lost time. So he's just been crazy busy. It's as we all can be.
And getting into the holiday season here, we're always busy with that, right?
Yeah, holiday season's coming. So, I mean, from a retail standpoint, retail shops are starting to really pick up on their traffic and all that and the sales. Manufacturers are trying to keep those stores stocked and fulfilled. And, the reps, this year's different, but, a lot of reps and people, they're usually out on the road and stuff more often. And just there's more in-store events as the holiday season kicks up. So, it's just that time of year. Now, despite all that, you have the coronavirus going on, so I think things are still a lot more limited than normal. But regardless, I think it's still kind of a somewhat busy this year so far. I mean, and that might change in the next couple of weeks. We don't know, as things start to change again and kind of ramp up a little bit on the virus front. But again, it's a kind of like a week-to-week basis. We'll just see what happens. Hopefully, we don't have to go totally back to where we were earlier this year. But the only good thing that did come out of that is the Smokin Tabacco Show was created, so there is that. And where are we? We're like mid-November. Well, Thanksgiving's
next week. End of November. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Joseph.
So our first show was April 30th. That was the May Day Eve Massacre show that John proposed the idea for, and I said, yeah, let's run for it. That was our first show. Didn't think this was going to be a long-term thing, but that was really the inception of the show. And so now we're almost at the 7-month mark now. I think next week, that's 7 months for us.
It'll be about 6 months.
6 or 7 months, yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, we're getting towards the end of the year and then going into the beginning of next year. So we're not there yet, but we're starting to work towards our first year, which is exciting. John and I have kicked around the idea. We've talked about doing like a May Day Eve Massacre round 2. Even though the show, I have to look at the calendar. I don't know when April 30th falls, but we might have to do a different day of the week just so we can do April 30th, so we can do a May Day Eve Massacre 2.0. That way we can bring to you all of the excitement that John and I had originally planned, especially considering the show is obviously exponentially grown since then. So, it'll be exciting. We have a lot of things we can work with now, and I'm interested to see what other kind of stuff we got going on. But I think it's a good time to mention that, considering we are getting into the holiday season, everyone here at Smokin Tabacco, Nicole and myself, we mentioned last time we did a giveaway that we'd probably do another one during the holidays, and that is coming up. And I thought of this the other day. We are just about getting into the full swing of the solid holiday season this year, so we will probably be putting a Christmas giveaway together that we'll probably announce like in the beginning of December. Might run it like through the month, and then like the week before Christmas, end it or whatever, and try to get you your winnings by by Christmas. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I think a holiday giveaway is probably going to be in the works. It'll close out the year for us, and I'm not sure what's going to be in it yet, but we'll talk about it and we'll see what we want to throw in there, and then we'll let you all know. So that's kind of the update with us. We've been kind of tied up with our personal lives, so Smokin Tabacco hasn't really been. I don't want to say neglected, but we just haven't been as active with it, and just trying to make up for some lost time. But we had some things going on in our personal lives that we had to attend to. Private stuff, but important stuff, and we're just kind of getting back into our full swing routine here. So you'll be seeing more of us again. Don't worry.
So I just wanted to say hi to some people in the comments here. We have Johnny, Orlando, Joseph. Who else is with us tonight? I'm just taking a look. Someone asked, we have Bruce in the house. Someone asked what we were smoking. So I went with my go-to tonight, which is the McAuliffe Landa No. 2, one of my favorite cigars. And as my backup smoke, the HVC Black Friday. That released, when did that release, Matt?
Well,
that was just
that one or
the new one. The new one. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a one from 2019, but there is a new one that was just released.
So that's last year's release that she has now. That's a Robusto. This year is, I believe it's a Corona, and that came out last week. You should have seen it in retailers last Thursday, Friday-ish, I want to say. Also with the release of the HVC Black Friday through United Cigars. Shout out United Cigars. Shout out Oliver Nouveau. Shout out HVC. Shout out Ranier Lorenzo, who was on the show with us recently. To those guys, another great class. I have a box of them. They are great. I smoked one pre-release a few months back when I was on the Ashholes podcast. Great cigar, fantastic. Go check them out. I want to say 120. I think about 120, 20 count box. If you're familiar with the Firecracker releases, they're fantastic. Earlier this year, they also did a collaboration with Perdomo. They've done LFD. They've done stuff with Steve Saka. They've done stuff with Roma Craft, Christoph Cigars. I want to say they did one with Tatuaje. So, I mean, they're cool. You can get them through twoguyscigars.com, or you can find them at your nearest United Cigar retailer. And they're just a blast. They're short little smokes, but they always pack a punch. They make up for the size with the strength of the tobacco, which is always exciting. So yeah, you can get those now. And I'm smoking the Ashton VSG Sun-Grown Spellbound. I'm already a few inches into it. It's one of my favorite Ashtons. Big Fuente smoker, as a lot of you guys know. Fuente rolls the tobacco for the Ashton line. And so I'm a big fan of Ashton as well. But the VSG, the Virgin Sun-Grown Spellbound, is actually one of my favorites from Ashton, if not the favorite. And Nicole, you're smoking the Landa from McAuliffe? You're smoking?
Yes, I am. I'm smoking the Landa No. 2. This is my favorite McAuliffe cigar. I cannot get enough of these. I absolutely love them. And we have quite a few McAuliffe ambassadors in the house tonight, so welcome. We're actually, if you are a McAuliffe ambassador, we are going to be on the Zoom lounge this Saturday, Matthew and myself, so we will see you there as well.
McAuliffe ambassadors represent. Yeah, so we don't have a guest again this week, but we do have some guests coming up. We have Erik Wentworth, Executive Vice President from Hammer Sickle Cigars, coming up with us next week. The week after that, we have Leo from, I'm sorry, going blank here, from Platinum Nova, our friends at Platinum Nova Cigars. She will be coming on. You might also know her from, if you're an Instagram person, you probably know her as Cigar Blondie. That's her Instagram account. But yeah, she's a CEO at Platinum Nova Cigars, and they're a friend of ours, a partner of ours as well. So she's going to come on the show. She's going to join us. We're going to hang out, smoke some Nova, and then I don't think we're ready to announce the rest of our guests following that, but we have some people, we have some pretty cool people coming up in the works, and so keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we're still holding down the fort without John Carney. I don't even think he's watching, to be honest with you. But like last week, he wasn't watching. He wasn't on the show last week. For those of you guys who are keeping track, he wasn't on the show last week either. And I don't think he was watching for like the first, I want to say at least the first half. And we were talking about it, like, yeah, he's not even watching the show. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he chimed in. He's like, "No, I'm here. I'm watching." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even see that." So, we wish he was here, but no eating on the show tonight. No wine review.
Well, hey, before you talk about the wine review, I am drinking some wine tonight. And so are you actually, or I guess babying it, not not quite drinking it.
You know, I have some wine going here
You're
too.
better at the pronunciation than me. So do you want to show them what we're drinking tonight? We are next to each other, by the way. It just worked out better this week with different cameras. So.
Oh wow, way to put me right on the spot. I'm actually not good with pronunciations. I don't know why you jumped to that. I can't even read it based on the font. It's an Italian wine. It's an Italian red blend. It's one of those specials that like Total Wine had, and you know they're like, "Oh, here's our special wine." And you're like, okay. They're trying to push something for some reason, and I'm like, "Well, I'll give it a shot." It was actually pretty good. It's got a 92-point rating from JamesSuckling.com, and it is the maybe on the back. Is there a better font on the back? I can't even read it. I want to say it's Marchesi di Boglosol. I don't know. I can't read it. The font is very like scripted and it's in Italian, so I mean it's already challenging. But it's a good wine. It's an Italian red, very smooth. I don't know. I guess John influenced me to kind of get more into wine. So I've been drinking different wines. I've been stepping outside of like the California wines and I've been getting into more European, so like French, Italian. And I don't know, I kind of like the European wines better. I find them to be just more flavorful, smoother, easier to drink. I find that a lot of the California wines, I mean, I'm not just talking like low end, high end. I drink low end wines and I drink high end wines. So it's not like a price quality kind of thing, just a general like, you know, like for example, I'm a big fan of Caymus wines. A lot of you guys are familiar with Caymus. That's a pretty expensive bottle. It retails for around like $80. That's a pretty pricey bottle of wine. I love that wine, but now that I've been drinking some stuff from different regions and stuff, I kind of go back and I'm like, that's a great bottle of wine, but I've had some stuff from France and Italy that like blew that out of the water that were like more than like half the price. So it's just kind of like getting familiar with that. And it's the same with cigars. You smoke cigars from different regions. There's Cubans, there's Dominicans, there's Nicaraguans. It's the same thing. And then of course there's the whiskey, and we had a whole whiskey show. We had a bourbon show last week, so if you guys missed that, you can check that out. No bourbon this week though, just doing wine. I'm gonna take a sip on this.
And we did have a couple of comments here in the audience. There's John Luca in the audience who's commenting. He says, "I thought you Americans smoke bad cigars, but I was wrong." And then he says, "You surprised me with wine as well." So I wonder where John Luca's from. You should chime in and let us know. I'm curious.
Yeah, let us know where you're from. Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know, how do I say this? We're not like.
I mean, we're both half Italian.
Yeah, that's true. But what did he say? We surprised him with good cigars and wine?
Yeah, we surprised him as Americans.
So what does that mean? He anticipated being Americans, like we don't have good taste in like our sinful products, as I think John likes to put it. Cigars and wine.
Well, for those of you who don't know, I actually lived in England for 7 years myself. So I lived there until I was 19 years old, and then I moved back here. So I have lived abroad before. I haven't just lived in America. I have dual citizenship. Not so much for Matthew, but maybe one day he'll visit with me. And then, sorry, I'm just reading the comments here as we're going along.
Johnny, I'm gonna just jump in really quick.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Johnny Harris brought up what's the best cigar with a steak. That's a great question. If you're doing a steak, especially if it's like a big steak, a steak is usually a heavier meal. You're usually eating a steak, not always, but more often than not, is usually some kind of potato involved, which is also very filling. So it's a very filling meal. especially at dinner time. You tend to eat more than the other meals during the day. That's always going to be a much stronger cigar. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it's a great time to do a stronger cigar. For me, if I have a nice heavy steak dinner with, potato and all this other stuff that's really filling, I'm smoking something dark wrapper, something strong, something thick. It's the best because it's one of the best times to smoke it. You're not it's you're gonna have a pretty full stomach to smoke something with a lot of strength, a lot of nicotine. It's it's definitely not gonna make you lightheaded and sick or anything, especially if you're a somewhat regular smoker too. Um, One of my favorites, I would say, is the Byron Grand Poema. That's a nice one. That's a heavier smoke. A lot of stuff from La Flor Dominicana. I mean, most of you guys know about LFD, and you guys all know that LFD is more than, I would say, more than half of the line is some not completely strong, but stronger variety cigars. I saw someone commented in here. Where is it? Smoking an LFD DL700. Shout out Jonathan M. Carney from Bruce Stark. So yeah, that's a great one too. I mean, it's that's a perfect example as well. So yeah, I would smoke anything like that. Um, One of the strongest cigars I've actually ever had, I love, and I haven't had one in a while, is the Christoph Pissed Off, and that's a great one. Mexican San Andreas wrapper. I think I still have like half a box that I purchased a few years ago, and they were Churchill, so they're longer too, so it's a longer smoke. As well as the another strong one that I have that I've been meaning to smoke, and I think I got it. Where did I get that from? I don't even know where I got it, but it's the LFD Oro in the gold tube, and yeah, that's a good one. That's a strong one too. I mean, for those of you guys who like strong cigars, or and if you're not familiar with
Yep.
LFD, there's the Oro that they make in the gold tube. That's a fantastic cigar. Strong, but it's a great cigar. If that's your cup of tea, or even if you want to just try something that's kind of strong, that's a good one. I mean, I know some experienced cigar smokers who've smoked that, and they had a hard time with it. Not that it's a bad cigar, just you really get your money's worth out of it. It packs a punch, so that's definitely a good one to check out. And we're just gonna keep scrolling through the comments here. So yeah, so Bruce said had a venison steak for dinner tonight. The LFD DL 700 is perfect for after that. Absolutely, that's a great time to have those stronger smokes. A lot of people ask me, oh well, I don't like strong cigars because the strong cigars, they make me feel weird, they make me feel sick, or like lightheaded, blah, blah, blah. And it's like you ask them like 9 times out of 10, you say, well, okay, when did you smoke it? And it's usually like earlier in the day. And it's like, did you eat that day? No, I just had it with a cup of coffee. See, that's your problem. Um, those stronger, they pack a lot of nicotine, and I think people underestimate that too. Um, you know, that nicotine will sneak up on you if you're not ready for it. So you want to definitely have a full stomach. Sugar is always good. It's not even just like sugar itself, but like having that blood sugar brought up a little bit, it's going to help combat some of the stronger effects of the nicotine once it gets into your bloodstream. That's why a lot of times people will say like, oh, if you get nicotine sickness, you put the sugar under your tongue, and that's actually a real thing, and it does work. You start getting those negative side effects from the nicotine in the cigars, you're going to uh, you throw some sugar right under the tongue, hold it there for a few minutes, and just let that sugar just dissolve and get into your bloodstream, because that's going to start to counteract the nicotine that gets into your blood, and it'll help reduce the headache, maybe the nausea or whatever and it depends. Everyone gets kind of different side effects from that nicotine sickness, so to speak, depending on, I guess, how strong the cigar was, how much you smoke, and all these other factors, and just like how, I guess, used to nicotine in general your body is. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And I've a lot of times, especially like the trade shows, when you go to the trade shows, and everyone's just they're banging out cigars all day long, because they're going from booth to booth and then whatever, and they're just always smoking. Even with really experienced cigar smokers, it'll sneak up on you. And we had Glenn Loop on the show a few months ago, and he was talking about what's up.
When you're done with Gun Loop, we're gonna switch over to the cigar industry news because I have some news out of PCA about a
Oh, okay, yeah.
new person. So
Yeah, no. So what I was gonna say was, even he was talking with us, and everyone knows Glenn. He's a big guy. Not physically, just popular wise. He sees a lot of people. He goes to all these events, and he's definitely a more popular person in the industry. So he goes to these trade shows. talking to everybody, meeting everybody, smoking all day long. And he's like, even me, he's like, I'll smoke 14 cigars in one day when you go to one of those trade shows. And you're doing that for a few days or a week or whatever that you're out there, and you come home and it's like I'm not even smoking any cigars for a week, like at all, just even when I'm home, because like you just need that time to like decompress. So a lot of people out there who are not really involved in anything industry related, the regular consumer who buys cigars and smokes at home, which is great, not knocking it, but to make the point, like they don't really get to experience that kind of thing when you're not that you have to, but like when you go to these trade shows and events and stuff where you're just smoking all day long all the time, it definitely it gets to you and it sneaks up on you, and you just get to a point where you're like, yeah, no more cigars for like a week. So but yeah, you have some news over there, so let's see what you got.
Yeah, so let me switch over right now to our cigar industry news segment. Switch a screen, sorry about that. So cigar industry news brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars. Our lovely friends at McAuliffe become an ambassador today. So PCA, as you all know, we had Glenn Loop on the show. Amazing person. They promoted Joshua Habersky, and they did some restructuring of the PCA. So he was promoted from the Director of Federal Affairs to the Director of Government Affairs, but he will oversee state lobbying efforts. So essentially, he is taking Glenn Loop's job, but with a different title.
Well, wait a minute, hold on.
What?
You said PCA, Premium Cigar
Yeah.
Association. Glenn Loop was the head of Cigar Rights of America.
Oh, well, here we go.
So that's a different group. I mean, all for
No,
kind
but
of the
he was,
same
but
purpose,
Glenn
but
Loop was the director, has been, oh, well, here we go. So this is my fault. Sorry, guys. Wine getting to me. That's what happens when Nicole starts drinking wine at dinner. But he has actually been then brought in as an addition to PCA as an advisor for state government affairs. So he's now joined the PCA, Glenn Loop, and so he will be working with them in the future, and he will be working with Scott Pierce. So
yeah, Scott also was
there.
on the show earlier this year. Great guy. Scott Pierce is a cool guy, and props to all those people who are involved with all those organizations, PCA, Cigar Rights of America. They play an important role in everything that we do here. They go to Capitol Hill and all these legislative meetings, and they stand up for it. And we say it all the time, and I'm sure people probably get sick of us bringing it up, but it's important stuff because what they do over there is, oops, sorry, I bumped into the mixer over here. What they do is very important, and they're the voice for all of us who like to smoke cigars and don't want it ruined or taken away or too highly taxed or whatever, so you can't afford to do it. But so yeah, we'll always preach it because it's important to us, and we'll never stop. So sorry.
And I'm curious. So I, as most of you know, am a new cigar smoker. So I actually haven't even been smoking cigars for a year. So forgive me with all of my little knowledge that I have when it comes to cigars. All I know is I like smoking them. So there's that. But it's what I was reading from my notes is also that they've been furloughing a lot of staff, and I'm wondering if that's due to COVID. I don't know if you can chime in on this, Matthew. If you know if it's due to COVID or due to
Who has it again?
PCA. I mean, they furloughed
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean,
their staff, and I don't know
yeah,
if it's because of COVID or just because funding, things like that. I mean, obviously,
it is.
without having these big trade shows and generating revenue for them.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing with that is earlier this year, when the first stage, I would say, of like the major shutdowns began to happen in the spring, yeah, that definitely that had happened. This news story came out. They laid off a lot of the people or furloughed them or whatever. Yeah, because they had to cut back. Everything was shut down and no one was doing anything. The trade show got canceled, and so yeah, I mean, part of that is, or most of it, is because of that. Some people were brought back. I want to say towards the end of the summer. I don't think they're back at full capacity, but they had brought some people back, and I'm sure it's just kind of the vibe that I'm getting just on my own perception of what's going on right now is it's looking like what we saw earlier this year is going to return, and so yeah, you're probably going to see stuff like that happen again, where there's going to be more furloughs and stuff like that.
Do you mean like the shutdown? Is that what you're
Yeah, I
referring
mean,
to?
I don't know exactly how. I don't know exactly how involved it'll be this time around, but definitely I think something's going to happen.
And I'm curious to know, you as viewers who are watching with us right now, what you think is going to happen in your states. I know here in Massachusetts, uh, they have alluded that there might be another shutdown actually coming next week. We will not know until Friday. They say that they're going to close non-essential businesses again. Gyms, office buildings, things like that. Thanksgiving's coming, obviously, when people come to town to visit other family members. The people want to go out and do things, so it kind of makes sense that they would shut down. So I'm just curious if anyone has any commentary of what their states are talking about, or is it all fine and dandy and people are just living their lives, going out and about? Just curious to know. So please chime in.
It's tough to gauge. It just seems like right now we're at a point where we're way worse than we were when this thing started, and we're not even completely shut down. And it doesn't. And this, and it's funny because it gets very geographical. Like there's some areas that are like more impacted, and or there's areas that are also just like less kind of involved. What were you gonna say?
Well, Tim Merchant in the comments chimed in and he said it's not looking good in Atlanta, ATL. So that to me is interesting because John Carney was actually there a couple weeks ago doing Atlanta Cigar Week, and clubs were popping. He was out there. I don't know if you saw that episode. That's the one where he went into the bathroom and did a soap
Oh
review
yeah,
in the bathroom with the
that
bathroom
was good.
attendants. That was a great soap review if you missed that. But no one was wearing masks. Everyone was, in contact with each other, which is fine. Everyone has different opinions on what's right, what's wrong with the whole COVID situation. So, oh, and Bruce just chimed in. Michigan shut down today. No more inside restaurant eating. 3 weeks as of now. So,
Yeah, Joseph Seymour says Texas has talk about shut it down. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
it seems like this thing's gonna come back and and shut everybody down again, which is, I mean, like there's I can see both sides of it. Like I get it, like you trying to prevent it, but at the same time, it's like it also it hurts people too. At the same time, depending on what your view of the virus and all that is, yeah, you're trying to stop it, but it also it hurts people's incomes and it hurts livelihoods and so many people.
I'm like,
Um,
me over here. For those of you who don't know, Matthew is still working. He's an electrician. He's talked about this a lot on the show, but I work in the spa industry. So, before COVID, I was a spa manager at a very swanky hotel in downtown Boston, as well as an esthetician. And of course, people don't want to be touched right now. How do you massage? How do you do a facial? You can't do that. And people are not also traveling as much as they did. So I was furloughed back in April and I'm still on furlough. I am not working. So, it is hurting people's livelihoods. There's not a lot of jobs to go around here in Mass, even if I wanted to. So, it hurts people for sure, and industries are hurting because of it. Here in Massachusetts as well, bars have not opened since March. So anyone who is a bartender or working in that industry, that hasn't picked back up. I'm trying to think what other industries.
I want to touch
Yeah.
on that really quick on a
Yep.
little side note for those who watched our show last week with, you know, the bourbon tasting we did. We got into allocated bourbon a little bit, and I kind of explained for those not in that circle what that is and how exactly that works. I want to touch on the people who are familiar with it. I've been getting a lot of questions lately, and they're like, "Hey, so like, it's it seems though that there's more stuff coming to stores, and um, but it's getting harder to find," which are two different things, and there's a good answer for that. Stores are getting more allocations of that stuff because the restaurants are, and well, more so the bars specifically, are not open, and in any areas that are, state-wise, in other states some bars are open and like Massachusetts are not. Um, they're not getting as much because they don't have as many people coming in, so they're not buying as much. So those allocations are now going to retailers, and there's more people who are either not working and or they're just working from home and they're out all, and they're at home all day. So it's not like being in the office, you can't get away. If you're at home, you're working from home, it's easier to sneak away. So there's more stuff coming to stores, and then there's more people just at home that can run to the liquor store and grab it. So yeah, more is coming, but more people have the opportunity during the day to run and grab it before it's gone. Um, so kind of what that is. To answer that question, I've been getting that a lot from some people.
But yeah, and so Gianluca, he also chimed in and said they're shut down here in north of Italy. I know in England, so my mother actually still resides in England along with her entire side of the family. And they are they're in a month-long shutdown there. So everything is closed, but my mother actually has COVID right now. Luckily, she's doing okay, and we've been chatting every day. But that's actually the first person I've uh, known who has had COVID, which to me is interesting too. I guess it depends on who's in your circle and whatnot. I know one of my best friends, she had like four family members who had COVID, and two of them actually did pass away. They were elderly, granted, but I feel like it touches everyone differently there. So,
Yeah, it's again, it's tough to deal with, and it's I don't know. There's not much to say. I mean, it's just it is what it is. It sucks to try and fight it, and at the same time, it sucks to get it, and it just is what it is. I mean, I just hope it goes away. We're starting to hear vaccines are starting to actually come to fruition a little bit. I think Pfizer has one now. Um,
believe Moderna is another one that has one
yep,
as
another big
well.
pharmaceutical company. Yep.
Yep.
So we hope that helps cut this down when that's available, and just there's so many variables to it, and this is something that it's I want to just think about how I say that I don't think we in this current generation of people as a whole have dealt with this. I mean, the last time something this big I think happened was probably like the Spanish. It's being compared to the
Yeah.
Spanish flu of 1918. We've had other
That's a long time
oh
ago.
well we've had other outbreaks and stuff. There was the swine flu, there was all these other things.
Yeah, but
Which,
it wasn't.
granted, I'm not downplaying them, but this is definitely bigger. This has been more of an impact, and I don't think we've seen something on this scale since the 1918 Spanish flu. So definitely, I don't think there's many people that are around now that were around for that. And plus, society is different, so we haven't really dealt with something on this big, at least in a long time, and for pretty much all of us ever. So it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. We don't know what to expect. We've been into this for most of the year now, so we have a little bit of experience now. We went through one shutdown. We went through rationing at the grocery store and all that. So yeah, I mean, we kind of know what to expect in a second wave, but still, it's so new that who knows. We hope that these vaccines that they do come out, they are successful, they work and all that. We can just get back to normal life because people have careers and jobs and money to make and families to support and all those things that are very important just for survival. So aside from no one wants to get sick and die. So I mean it's both. It's just it's oh hold on, wait, I don't mean to cut you off, but we have your stepmom's watching. Yeah, Joyce Merrill is in the house. Unless it's your dad using her Facebook. Yeah. So the Fantasia household is watching tonight. Hello. Hello, Fantasias. Um, go ahead. Oh, that
Oh my
who
God. Oh,
did that?
sorry. I've just muted this whole time. So I was talking about Doomsday Preppers. Sorry about that. We have a little background noise, so I've been trying to save that. But so Doomsday Preppers, wild show. People bury school buses, shipping containers, things like that. They hoard fish antibiotics. Um, and they're prepping for either an apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse, a sickness. Um, it's a crazy show on Netflix. I don't know. Have you seen that, Matthew?
No, I haven't seen that, but I
Yeah.
was thinking about when you said that they buried.
Yeah.
So
Like,
there is a show I did see someone do that. You ever seen that show, Little People Big World, with the little people with the farm?
I don't typically watch TLC, but I have seen the advertisement for the show. Yes.
It's a it was a cool show like when it started. Like I watched it a little bit like when I was younger, but I do remember like one of the only times I watched it. I think they bought I think it was a storage container and like they made themselves like a doomsday bunker and they buried it on the farm and like they furnished it and whatever and they put supplies down there and I was like, huh. And then my parents watched that show and I remember my dad just being like, oh, we got to do that. Or my mom maybe I don't know, one of them said one of my parents said it like, oh, we should like build a bunker in the property and we have a doomsday thing.
Well, before you say this, I used to know someone who was fairly crazy and who had also watched that show, and we made bug out bags. So that in case of an apocalypse, we would have a backpack with all of the things that we needed, like a machete, um,
Bug out
medical
bag, is that a British
supplies.
thing?
No, 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 no. A bug out bag is like in case there's an apocalypse, you throw that backpack on and you are ready to go.
I just meant the term, but
Oh,
yeah.
no, no, no. It's a doomsday prepper term for people who are ready to like grab stuff and go. I guess in case of an apocalypse.
I always called it just a go bag.
A go bag. No, I heard bug out bag.
The go bag.
No,
It's
like
go time.
you gotta bug out. No, like you're bugging out. I don't know. I'd be interested again if our audience has ever done anything like that. I had antibiotics that I didn't use from previous things in my bag. I had medical equipment. I had, like instant fire packs, a fire steel. God forbid you don't have um, a lighter. So I learned how to make a fire without using a lighter, which I guess is cool. So I am prepared in case anything happens. You can actually buy bug out bags pre-made, I think. Even Costco, they sell 90-day like freeze-dried food kits, so you can just like add water and go
Dude,
if
which
there's an
by the way,
emergency.
what doesn't Costco sell? I mean, really, I mean, I love Costco as much as the next guy, and
Okay.
it's like you go in there and you see the most random thing, which is not a bad thing, but you're just like, it's not that it's bad, it's just you stop and go, shit, they have that here. Like, what the hell? Like, it's
Well,
Costco.
it was a
And
news
they're like, it's Costco, and they have
it
everything.
was a news story today that they are selling a private jet membership this year, for I
At
think
Costco?
like yeah, Costco for like $20,000. So if you want to travel around the country on a private jet for a year, um, Costco's selling that.
It's funny. Do you
Doing
remember that movie, The
it.
Watch, with Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
He's like the manager of the Costco in his town. And there's like a scene where he's like talking to the guy in the little group that turns out to be the alien, but he's like nice and he like actually wants to help them. He's like, "Why did you choose my Costco?" And he's like, "You guys literally have everything we need under one roof." And I sat there and I was like, I know this is supposed to be like funny and a joke, but he's fucking right. Like you go in, there's a tire center, they have a whole butcher shop, and they have great cuts of meat. There's a bakery, they have clothing, they have like home and garden, they have office supplies, electronic. Like, they have everything you need. You could go there and get all your Christmas shopping done, all your meals, everything, and like still get
Hold
crap
on.
you don't need in one stop and go home. And they have gas. I mean,
They
you
do
don't need to
not
go anywhere
have
else.
though the one thing that they don't have ammunition because they don't sell guns.
Hmm.
Hmm.
True. Can you imagine though if they
They
did
have
have like
knives.
if they had guns and if they had like guns and ammo there, it would be like a whole like it would be a huge section. Just like they'd have like every shotgun, every rifle, um every handheld weapon. They'd have every type of ammunition. They have the safes for it. They have all the accessories. It'd be like half the store. It'd be huge, especially down south. Like you go down there, man. Costco's must be. I mean, I've heard some of the stories because I have friends that live down south, and for anyone from down south who's watching, you can. I don't know because I haven't been, so I'm just going on what people tell me. Anyway, feel free to chime in. I've been told though that like the WalMarts down south are like football stadiums, and there's like hair centers in them and everything like you could go to Walmart and spend 10 hours in there and get everything you need done in your life and get all your stuff that you need and go home and be done.
That is true. However, I do know that Walmart I think they pulled ammunition and guns from most of their shelves. I don't think they're selling that anymore. So superstores, as far as I know, that was the only one. And unless you're going to a specialty thing like Cabela's, Bass Pro Shop, and in terms of like a Walmart, I think
Oh,
they're
Bass
not
Pro
selling
Shops.
anymore. I know.
Bass Pro Shops. I love Bass Pro Shops.
um, But yeah, so I don't think you can actually go there and get ammunition anymore. Sorry.
Well, oh well.
As a thing.
Sorry, Cabela's and Bass Pro were just like, all right, cool, come to us. Someone always wins. When one person stops something, someone always wins. Like it never just goes away. Someone always picks up, like whatever it is. You know what I mean? Someone always picks up the slack of somebody else. So I don't know. That's my
Well,
take on
Joseph
cardonomics.
said yes, you can. I think it varies state by state. Massachusetts, you cannot. I think they pulled it from shelves here, and I think in some of the cities where they were rioting. Um, what this?
Yeah, the
Okay.
wine. Sorry, I didn't interrupt your little.
That's okay. Where
No.
they're rioting, they pulled those things. They pulled ammunition and guns off the shelves just in case people, went in and took them. So, but
Sorry.
I feel like we need to change gears here for a minute because we're getting way off target with our Doomsday prepping. Um,
Oh, it's your fault. You brought it up.
I know, but I love that show. Actually, I want to
Yeah.
watch that tonight. So.
Oh, your dad is watching. I see him. He's in there. John Francis. Oh well. There he is. Being a little incognito. I love how his name's John Francis and he has no profile pic. He's trying to be like all undercover. You know he's in there.
You're
I know.
getting
I see
called
you
out,
looking.
Dad.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, John Francis is my father. So there you go.
John, we miss you, by the way. Even though I was just there like 2 days ago.
But let's switch it over to sports. So our sports segments. Let me change the screen here. Boom. The Sports Corner. Brought to you by Nova Cigars. Our discount code is still going on the Nova Cigar website. So use SMKTAB15 checkout to save 15%. They do have a monthly promotion for the month of November, which is a discounted sampler. You can use the 15% on top of that discount to get even more money off. So great from our friends at Nova Cigars.
Can I just say something? I got to share this with the audience because someone will get a kick out of this. And I hope this is okay with you. But so your dad just commented off the grid, man. So can I just say, since he's watching, and he probably won't like this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So for those of you who don't know Nicole's dad is definitely a fun guy to be around. He can be a little quirky, and I love it. Like, for example, he'll just like come downstairs, like when we're down there doing something, and he'll just walk in the kitchen and be like, "What's up, bitches?" Like he just does shit like that, and it's hilarious, and I love it. I think he did was it Saturday? We were over there Saturday morning.
My favorite greeting from him is "What's crack-a-lackin', bitches," and he will say that. So.
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, but he says that stuff, and it's amazing. And it's so funny. You need that kind of comedy in your life, just that low key. Or his dad jokes. I don't think I've met anyone that has better dad jokes than your dad. Like you said the other day, like we were with him, you were like, all right, I'm gonna go take a shower and I'll get ready and we'll leave. And your dad's like, well, just make sure you put it back. And you were just like, ha ha ha. And I was like, I think that's hilarious. That's just me though. But anyway, your dad is funny. I wanted to give him his little spotlight on the show, you know. And he'll bring it up and be like, oh, you shouted me on the show, yeah. Include everybody. It's all good. Yeah, no, we're getting See, I get the smiley face. See, he likes the compliments. Nicole's just embarrassed because it's her dad. Whatever. I think John's cool.
Come on, no, we have to give the Sports Corner its highlighted segment.
We have stuff. Don't worry, I'm getting to it. I'm enjoying myself here.
Although I feel like there's not much going on in the world of sports.
No, I mean there's not. So first thing is, mostly it's NFL right now. So NFL, football, Patriots broke. I think they had a little bit of a losing streak. I think that was a few games in a row, but they finally kind of snapped a little losing streak that they had, and they took a win at home over the Baltimore Ravens this week, which was good. Thank God, we needed that one. And also, so Antonio Brown is back in the headlines. He's back in the NFL. He's playing for the Bucs. He's playing with Tom Brady, like we wanted, and already he's in the headlines again. And it stems from something that supposedly, allegedly happened before he came back. Something about he destroyed a security camera like in his I think he lives in like one of those like gated communities where it's like it's private, like high-end homes, but like it's all part of like one little like gated area. And I guess like within the generalization of the complex of the houses, like they have their own security cameras for the community or whatever. And apparently, I think he like destroyed one or something. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm more of a headline guy. I'm like Howard Stern. I just read the headline. I don't take the time to get into the nitty gritty. I read the parts that matter, just the headline. Destroyed some. So it's like, but again, the point is, here he is again. Now he's with the team again. He's like, I'm gonna behave and be good. And then it's like, 2 weeks in, he's making headlines again. Oh, controversy with Antonio Brown. And it's like, dude, this guy just can't keep his nose clean. I mean, like, for fuck's sake. It's like he's actually a pretty good football player, but it's like he just can't, like, off the field, he just can't keep it in check, and it's a shame because like then he gets like taken out, whatever. I mean, God help the guy. I don't know, but it's interesting. It's like he gets back in again, and it's controversy. We'll see what happens. No one said he's suspended or anything, but it's Antonio Brown. We'll see what happens.
And talking.
NASCAR.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was gonna say, so the NASCAR awards are on. We're NASCAR people, so I like to throw some shade over there. I know not everyone's a NASCAR fan, but oh well, I am, and Nicole is. So, NASCAR awards are tonight. The season ended a few weeks ago. Chase Elliott, 2020 Cup Series champion. Tonight is the award show. Big banquet they usually do. I'm not sure actually how they're gonna do it because of the coronavirus, but I know they're still doing it. It takes place tonight, so I'll have to check that out later. And but no, what were you gonna say? Go ahead. You got something to throw in?
Well, talking about suspensions, I was reading headlines, and the Mets' Robinson Cano was suspended for the 2021 season already due to
Oh, Robbie Cano?
Yeah.
What did he do?
There you go. You say it better than I do.
What did he do?
Performance-enhancing drugs. He is already out for 2021. Tested positive. So boom,
Wow.
done. Just
He
while we're
definitely
talking
seems
about
like
it.
the guy.
There's a lot of guys that seem like the guy, to be honest, but he would.
Just saying, like, I'm not
Yeah.
surprised.
So he is already out, and this is his second suspension, not his first.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, I think he was suspended, not with the Yankees. He went somewhere else. I think was it Seattle? I think he went after the Yankees. I'm not sure. I know he
Yep,
was with the
no,
Yankees for a while.
it was the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No, I do remember that now.
Yep.
Well, whatever. That's what happens.
Yep.
You know the rules. Follow them.
And yet
There's
people
nothing
don't.
else to say. I'm not a big Robinson Cano fan, so I could care less. But whatever. Alex Cora came back. Speaking of people who were suspended, Alex Cora was rehired as the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Look, I mean, some people are gonna be like, "Oh, well, he did it in the boycott the Red Sox," but it's like, all right, you know what? Like, whatever. The way I look at it, and I'm not just trying to be biased here or anything. Like, the way I boiled it down like this. So, from what I know about the Red Sox organization, is they're definitely the kind of group that likes to have integrity, and they don't like to deal with a lot of controversy, and they like to present a good image, which is very respectable, and it's for the right reasons, and I totally get it, and I respect that, and I think that's great that they try not to be a team who has the reputation of being trash, and they try to present themselves very well. For a team like that, who's very solid on their reputation and stuff, to make a move like that tells me that they feel that Alex Cora, has served his suspension. He, obviously just wants to move on from this, which hopefully he's learned from, and it was enough that this won't be just part of his reputation as someone he is. Hopefully he's learned from this. This won't be something he carries on in the future. But they also see enough potential in a leadership under Alex Cora where they're willing to make this move, knowing that there is going to be people, regardless of how you try to make up for it or what you say. They see enough potential in him to lead a team to victory. At the end of the day, I don't want to say everybody wants to win one, but there are teams that strive for it more than others. But at the end of the day, professional sports teams, they want to win championships, not just because of the glory, not because like the fans will love it, but you got to remember, professional sports teams are still a business like anybody else. A championship team brings in money. People want to come see the team that's winning. People want to see the following season. They want to come see the team that won the championship last year. They want to see the trophy. They want to see they want all that. They're going to come buy tickets, come to the games, spend money on concessions. It makes them money. So the more championships you win, the more teams that win championships, it's that interest. It's like the New England Patriots here in New England. That whole dynasty era with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. You can't get tickets to Patriots games it's all secondhand tickets because they're all sold out to season ticket holders, and there's a reason for that, because they win all the time. or they did. I don't know. We'll see. But for the sake of the argument, a team like that, like you can't get tickets for. Why? Because they sell out in minutes to all the season ticket holders because everyone wants to go see the Patriots. So aside from like we've got a lot of Super Bowl titles, but like at the same time, Robert Kraft has built a business on like, well, everybody wants to come to the Patriots games and spend money. So the Red Sox are definitely no stranger to that. We've gotten 4 titles in the new millennium: 2004, 2007, 13, 18, from an 86-year drought from previous ownerships. They're definitely lead the team to victory, and that's fun and all, but at the same time, it creates revenue. It's just simple science. So at the end of the day, not to get too carried away, that's what that is. They say, well, yeah, he did something and he got caught and there was some controversy there, but I still think that he can win a championship. Let's roll the dice and see how it goes. Time will tell. I mean, that's really all I can say about it. Time will tell. So other than that, I don't really have anything else for sports this week. We pretty much covered everything that's going on. Yeah. So I don't know. Hopefully we get. I was watching a little bit of college football the other night. We have I think NBA and hockey, the NHL. I believe they were going to try to start the next season right after the new year. I'm not sure if they're still going to do that. Who knows? I don't know if they're going to do a bubble system. Who knows? It'd be nice to at least have professional sports stick around, even if stuff gets shut down, if something to watch. I think that and John and I have talked a lot about it. The bubble thing worked out for the NBA and the NHL. I think they did pretty well with that. So I don't know. Let's see if they can do that again. Is there anything that you wanted to add?
No, I'm not a huge sports person. I like my baseball and I like my NASCAR, and that's about it for me.
Who's your favorite driver?
Kyle Busch.
Is it really, or is that just because he's my favorite driver?
No, I like Kyle Busch and his little bald spot. It's kind of cute.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is the man. I know a lot of people don't like Kyle Busch because they're like, oh, well, like, look, the reason why you don't like Kyle Busch is because Kyle Busch can win, and he's very passionate about the sport, and yeah, he gets fired up, and yeah, he bitches and moans, but it's because he wants to win. He's competitive. He's dedicated to the sport. He's not just like Bubba Wallace, who gets in his car every week and just drives around for 300 laps just because he gets paid to, and he's just like, well, I'm just going to drive the car in the race. No, like Kyle Busch is like, no, I came here to win the race. I didn't come here to just drive around and be like, I drive for Petty Motorsports. No, like Kyle Busch came to win, and that's why he wins. He fights for it. Not gonna lie, as much as I always want Kyle Busch to win, if so facto, Kyle Busch is not in contention again next year for a championship, I really hope Denny Hamlin is. I really think Denny should get one before he goes. He just turned. I think today's his birthday. He turned 40 today. He's getting up there. He's won a lot of major races, a lot of big stuff, but he hasn't gotten a championship yet. And I would like to see Denny Hamlin win. He is a good driver. He's a Joe Gibbs driver, so he's in my realm. The Joe Gibbs guys are my favorites. I don't know. Time will tell. As I said, NASCAR awards are on tonight, and February comes quick. Daytona 500 will be here before we know it. So,
well, I wish we were at Daytona because right here in Massachusetts, it's in the 20s right now. So it is cold.
It's very nippy here. Luckily, we have our own indoor lounge where we can smoke, broadcast our show, hang out, and it's warm in here, but not everyone has that luxury. So I feel for all our New England friends who don't have a nice warm place to smoke at home. But I think that's going to do it for our show tonight. No guests, so, we're going to keep it short. And like I said, Erik Wentworth, Hammer Sickle Cigars. Next week, don't miss that. Followed by Leo from Platinum Nova Cigars the week after that. And then, and then the week after that, I don't think we're announcing anybody coming on yet, but that's my birthday week. Yeah, I'm gonna be 27 soon.
We might have to do a celebration.
No. That's not why I brought it up. I'm just like, someone said to me today, it was funny, and you're older than me. And
I guess I'm a cougar.
Well, no, but I want to get your opinion on this because you're 28, and so someone said to me like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be 28, like 2 days before your birthday. Like his birthday was 3 days before mine. I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna be 28 this year, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be 27. And he was like, yeah. He's like, 27's a weird year because 26, you're still kind of like, yeah, I'm in my mid 20s. He's like, but then you get to 27, you're like, all right, now like the 20s are almost over and I'm almost in my 30s. And that's when you start to really feel old. And I'm like, I thought you really felt old when you were like your 40s and your 50s. He's like, no, I imagine that's just when you're like, wow, like I'm almost done. I'm like, I don't know. I hope it's not that bad. But yeah, so I guess I'm definitely starting to feel it. I don't know. Did you feel weird when you turned 27 or was it worse when you turned 28?
I don't know. I mean, I just feel like the older that you get, you're just like, can it stop? Am I really just doing the same thing every day? Do I still wake up with aches and pains? I don't know. Just it's random. I'm coming to terms with it. I feel like, I mean, I'm not 30 yet, but
Almost.
um I am almost. And I keep feeling old and time gets faster, right? That's the thing.
Mm.
It gets faster and faster and you're like, "Oh, here's a whole nother year."
I'm gonna have a 30th birthday party for you. It's gonna be a huge bash. Everyone's gonna come. You won't even know about it. I'm gonna downplay it. Be like, oh, let's just stay in tonight. We'll do something low key. And then
Nope.
I'll be like, hey, let's just make a stop real quick. And then we're gonna go into like this venue, and there's gonna be like 100 people there, and you're gonna be like,
I don't think I even know 100 people. I'm like,
oh, I'll find people.
I'll just find people.
We'll make it big, like Nova. Make Nova big. Yeah, so that's our show for tonight, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. As usual, as always, you can find us on YouTube, on all the podcast channels. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, as well as smokintabacco.com. If you head over to novacigar.com, use our code SMKTAB15 to save 50% off your order. And again, that also includes the special that Nova's running this month as well. So go over there and check that stuff out. And as always, stay smoky. We will see you guys next week. Take care, guys.